Welcome to the show, WWE Nation. This is SmackDown Spotlight, your update center for matches and news. Hit that bell and let's begin. WWE SmackDown has always delivered unforgettable moments, from high-octane matches to shocking returns. But last night, Aleister Black reminded fans why he's one of the most captivating figures in the ring. Stepping into the spotlight, Black didn't just cut a promo, he issued a warning that shook the locker room and sent chills through the audience. His words weren't empty threats. They carried weight, emotion, and a sense of inevitability. Every glance, pause, and syllable was deliberate, exposing truths, challenging purpose, and questioning identity. Fans were left hanging on every word, captivated by his presence and the darkness he embodies. This wasn't just storytelling. It was a masterclass in intensity, leaving the WWE Universe wondering who will be next to face the full force of Black's philosophy. The stage of silence. The lights dimmed, and the crowd's anticipation grew. Silence filled the arena as Aleister Black's presence alone commanded attention. Unlike standard promos designed to hype a match, Black's words carried weight. Every phrase seemed deliberate, calculated to evoke tension, fear, and introspection. He didn't just tell a story. He exposed the vulnerabilities of his target while challenging the audience to reflect. This wasn't entertainment in the usual sense. It was a psychological assault wrapped in charisma. Fans could feel the energy shift, the room vibrating with a mixture of awe and dread. Aleister Black isn't just a wrestler. He's a storyteller who manipulates emotion like a master painter wields color, painting chaos with intention, setting the tone. Black opened with a deceptively calm voice, speaking almost gently but carrying a subtle menace. He recounted a tale about a man of exceptional talent and ambition, someone who had achieved greatness, yet paid a personal cost. His praise was ironic. It wasn't admiration, but a prelude to confrontation. Black's words illustrated sacrifice, identity loss, and the consequences of giving too much of oneself. This tone set the stage for the philosophical undertone of his promo. The audience sensed that this wasn't about victory in a match. It was about exposing truths that are often ignored in the wrestling world. By mixing admiration with accusation, Black created a tense atmosphere filled with anticipation. The involvement of Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega stepped into the spotlight to amplify the chaos, invoking Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley, and other figures tied to manipulation and madness. Her appearance reinforced the promo's message of influence and control, showing that Black's warnings were supported by a broader narrative of power and reckoning. She wasn't just commentary, she embodied the looming threat and psychological weight that Black was laying down. Her words and presence added layers of unpredictability, creating a dynamic where chaos wasn't abstract. It was personified. This moment highlighted how wrestling promos can weave storytelling, alliances, and tension together, elevating the narrative beyond simple rivalries and into a philosophical exploration of domination, purpose, and transformation. The ones dressed in black shifted focus to the ones dressed in black, describing them as neither saviors nor friends, but as collectors of truths buried by his target. He illustrated how 6 months of stripping comfort and certainty had hardened his target into unpredictability and violence. By framing the narrative this way, Black turned the promo into a psychological masterclass, showing how influence and environment can fundamentally change a person. The message was clear. His opponent wasn't being punished for mistakes. They were being reminded of what they had become. This layer of storytelling made the segment compelling, emphasizing character development and existential threat over mere physical confrontation, which is rare in mainstream wrestling promos. Transformation over titles. Black made it explicit. This confrontation wasn't about championships. His goal was transformation, a philosophical reshaping of identity and purpose. Win or lose in the ring, his target had already been altered. This shifted the audience's perception of wrestling stakes, moving beyond belts and victories to the internal psychological journey of a character. Black's words challenged both the opponent and the audience to consider what it truly means to be tested, stripped down, and forced to confront inner truths. It's rare for a promo to carry this weight, blending physical and mental stakes seamlessly, leaving fans with more to ponder than just the result of a match. The psychological grip. Every line Black delivered tightened the metaphorical noose, emphasizing accountability and inevitability. He framed the narrative so that the target could not escape their past actions or the truths they had avoided. Black's performance demonstrated a deep understanding of psychology, as he built tension without physical violence, relying solely on presence, tone, and language. The audience could feel the pressure, almost as if the words themselves were constricting. This approach made the promo uniquely compelling, because it illustrated how a wrestler can dominate a storyline using intellect and psychological strategy, showing that physicality isn't the only path to control and influence in professional wrestling. The weight of truth. Black continually reinforced the burden of truth, emphasizing that purpose and reflection are inescapable. The target couldn't hide, and their previous avoidance only amplified the consequences. By framing accountability in this way, Black added gravitas and moral weight to the segment. Wrestling, often focused on physical contests, became a stage for philosophical exploration. Fans were forced to consider not just what happens in matches, but what drives characters to act, change, and evolve. Black's emphasis on truth, reflection, and inevitable confrontation transformed a typical promo into a narrative experience that blended wrestling with existential stakes, showing his mastery over both audience engagement and storytelling. Climactic threat. Black's message culminated with a chilling declaration. The confrontation ends only when he says, it ends. The sense of inevitability was palpable, creating tension that lingered long after he left the ring. This moment reinforced his dominance, not through physical victory, but through psychological control. By asserting this power, Black redefined what it means to win in wrestling. Influence, fear, and inevitability are as potent as championship gold. Fans understood that Black's presence and message carried consequences beyond the immediate narrative, and that his words could shape future events, rivalries, and character trajectories, adding long-term weight to a single promo. Inevitability over victory. Aleister Black didn't leave the ring claiming victory in the traditional sense. Instead, he left a sense of inevitability, making it clear that the target's fate and transformation were already sealed. This approach redefined audience expectations of what a promo could accomplish. Wrestling usually measures success in wins or losses, but Black shifted the focus to influence, control, and philosophical dominance. The audience left with a feeling of awe and tension, fully understanding that the narrative and psychological impact extended far beyond what occurred physically. Black demonstrated that a promo could be more than hype. It could be a transformative experience in storytelling. Philosophy wrapped in violence. The promo merged philosophy and wrestling seamlessly. Black's words were a warning, a story, and a reflection of human struggle all at once. Violence wasn't just physical. It was mental, emotional, and philosophical. Fans were captivated not by moves or near falls, but by the depth, meaning, and intensity of the narrative. Black reminded everyone that wrestling is not just about championships, but about identity, purpose, and transformation. His ability to convey such layers in a few minutes highlighted his mastery as a performer and storyteller, elevating the promo into an unforgettable moment that would be analyzed and remembered long after the show. darkness returns. Aleister Black left the ring not just as a performer, but as a harbinger of inevitable change. His promos served as a warning, a narrative device, and a philosophical statement all at once. Fans are left questioning who will be next, what purpose will be revealed, and how identities will shift under the weight of truth. Black's segment proved that in WWE, darkness is never absent. It always returns, and when it does, it changes everything. This wasn't just a promo. It was a lesson in presence, storytelling, and psychological warfare, solidifying Aleister Black as one of the most compelling figures on SmackDown today.